Hey Stephanie, this is Lori Camp with Soul Sisters Digital Design. Thanks for setting up our appointment for tomorrow. I figured I'd go ahead and shoot this video though to show you how your website is doing. Basically how your website is stacking up against your competition online and to give you some steps that you can take to improve things. So, as Google crawls the web, it is really looking for three things: content, citations, and backlinks. So for the purposes of this video, that's what I'm going to be talking about. So content really just refers to the words and images on your site. Google likes to see between 1,500 and 2,000 words, kind of at a minimum on the page, to give it a really good idea of what you do and where you are. The exact amount is going to kind of depend on the competition and also the number of keywords that you're wanting to be found for and need. So what's a keyword? A keyword is anything someone might type into Google looking for a particular service or product. So let's take a look at what a Google search might look like for you. So I went over to my browser and I typed in Montessori Orlando, Florida, because that is where you are and kind of what you do, as far as I could tell. Assuming I have the correct website, and I believe I do, with Continuum Montessori. Well, at the top of the page is what we call the map pack. The top three listed here are really going to get the most traffic because they are super easy to use and they are listed right away. And there's tons of information here for the average person, right? You've got reviews, you've got directions, you've got all kinds of info hours. But to get in this top three, you really need to look at a couple of things. So one, obviously you have to have one of these profiles. It's a Google business profile. You need to fill it out as much as possible. And the third thing is you need to have your name, address, and phone number listed in as many relevant directories on the web as possible. Now that can be everything from Yelp and Yellow Pages, even to Facebook. But basically, the more times you have that name, address, phone number appearing in all these directories, the more power it gives your profile. Because every one of those is considered a citation. And the idea is that your brand begins to be found by Google all over the internet. And the larger that online presence is, like the more time it sees you, the more Google trusts you. Now below the map pack is what we call the organic results. And organic just means not paid. Ideally, you want to be in the top three here as well. By being in the top three of both, you will see a 30% increase in traffic to your website. Now let's go back to content for just a second. I have got your website pulled up here, Continuum, Montessori.com. And what I want to say first is it's a really good looking website. You did a great job with it. I love the pictures of your team. I love your testimonials. Those are all really good. The calendar. And word-wise, you're not doing too bad. I put that into a word counter. You're actually sitting at about 1,423 words. So you can definitely, like you've got kind of the volume of words taken care of. You may just want to target a little bit more about what you're, precisely seeking. Because remember, your content is what allows you to really let Google know what you want to be found for. So you want to make sure that you're placing those keywords all throughout the pages, and you tell Google exactly what kind of people might be interested in your service. So when you're a school, a Montessori school in Orlando, you want to make sure Google knows that, and that it can tell users that you exist. So when I was looking at this Montessori Orlando, Florida, the top three schools in the organic results were Montessori School of Orlando, and then the Orlando Montessori Bilingual Academy, actually the top two. So for the purpose of this video, those are the two that I'm going to compare you against. So beyond just kind of my initial blush of looking at it and seeing that it's a good-looking, engaging site, I also like to look at kind of behind the scenes, and I use a tool called Ahrefs to do that. So when I plug your website into here, I can see that you are currently getting about 2 unique visitors per month. So just kind of starting out, and I think you did say that you're relatively new, and you're being found for 13 keywords. So let's look at what those keywords are. So it looks like, obviously, Continuum Florida is part of your name, so you're being found somewhat for that in the sense of that particular keyword is being searched 20 times per month, but you are in position 49. So, Google used to separate into pages, 10 results per page. 49 would put you kind of at the end of the 5th page. They're not so much doing that anymore. It's kind of a continuous scroll, but it's still really far back in the pack. And the bottom line is it's not giving you any traffic. None of these are really giving you any traffic. I'm not sure what Car City 24 is, but for some reason that has shown up as a keyword for you. New York City Montessori has shown up as well. Again, you're far back in the pack for that. But so let's take a look in comparison to some of your competitors. So the top competitor was Montessori School of Orlando. And if I look at them, they're actually getting 83 visits per month. And that's being driven from 94 keywords. Now, if you look at the difference, say the top one for them is Montessori School Orlando. Clearly, if somebody's searching for that, they're looking for a Montessori school, probably in Orlando. Maybe they've got some kids, maybe they're looking to explore that. That term is being searched 150 times per month. They're in the second position for that term, which means that that's getting them 57 unique visitors from that term alone. So you can see the difference that kind of really targeting that is going to make in the number of people finding you. And if we go look at the second result, which was the Orlando Montessori Bilingual Academy, they're actually getting 203 unique visitors per month. And that's being found from 229 keywords. Orlando, that's the name, so I'm not necessarily going to count that. But if I look at Montessori School Orlando, again, that's that same term that we looked at for the last one, being searched 150 times per month, but they're in position 4. So even though they're 4th, they're still getting 19 visits alone from that particular keyword. So that's the kind of stuff you want to look at when you are evaluating your site. Now the last piece of the puzzle, the ranking puzzle, is what we call backlinks. A backlink is anywhere you find one website linking to another, be it clickable or hyperlink text. These links, again, act like an endorsement, and they're coming from other businesses. So Google uses those links to build trust, again, in your business by seeing these other businesses vouch for you. So it's kind of like a popularity contest, but not all links are created equal. Local links are really good. Those relevant to your website will count more than those that Google can't see the connection. So it has to be something that would make sense to be connected. Like, for example, a mortgage broker, a real estate agent, those really go together. Another school to your school, those kind of go together. So Google kind of has to make that connection because it will assign a value and a weight to that link. So I can also see on your links how you're doing with that. And so right now, and I use this profile because it mimics Google's algorithm and tends to evaluate those links kind of like Google does. And so it scores it. It scores your backlink profile on a scale of 0 to 100 on both power and also relevancy. So right now you're looking at, or trust, right now you're looking at a 1.9 on the power scale, how powerful are those links coming in, and about a 3.2 on the how much does Google trust them kind of scale. And then we can see that for the Montessori School of Orlando, they're kind of very similar, 1.4 and 9. And then the Orlando Montessori.com, that's 4 and 6. So again, you can see that can also have an impact. Now, when all of those things come together, the backlinks, the citations, the content, that's when you begin ranking higher and higher, and more customers or clients or parents find you. I hope this information was helpful. I'm anxious to kind of get it off to you and love to chat with you tomorrow about how we might be able to help. And if it's just, be able to host your site, that's perfectly, great. But I always like to give some advice as well. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. My name is Lori with Soul Sisters Digital Design. Number is 352-235-9803, and I will chat with you soon.